Hey guys, welcome back to the Commercial Law School. Last week, we did a poll on our LinkedIn page asking you guys about what content you wanted to see next. The poll indicated that the majority of you guys wanted a video on how to approach the situational judgment test, so that's exactly what we have in store for you today. So the SJT is a psychometric test used by firms such as Linklaters, Herbert Smith Freehills, Allen & Overy, Simmons & Simmons, and other firms as part of the assessment process. The SJT tests an individual's decision-making skills when presented with hypothetical situations. So by giving you the SJT, firms want to see what kind of trainee you would be and how you would respond when faced with common work situations. This enables firms to predict your future performance as a trainee and to assess whether you are the right fit for the firm. What differentiates the SJT from other psychometric tests like the Watson-Glaser test is that the SJT has no right or wrong answers. Rather, once you have completed the SJT, firms are given a report which highlights your key skills and values based on your answers. If you have scored highly on the skills and values the firm looks for, then you'll be successful. So you could say it's like a two-way process. It tells the recruiters whether you're a good fit for the firm even before meeting you, and it also lets you know whether the firm is the right fit for you. So in terms of the structure of this video, we will begin with some general advice, and then we will go through an example of a typical SJT question with answers. So, with an SJT, firms want to know that firstly, you understand the role you're applying for. So if you're applying for a training contract, you need to understand what that encompasses. Secondly, that you understand a trainee's position within a law firm. And thirdly, that you possess the skills and values required of trainees at that particular firm. Therefore, your first step should be to research the role of a trainee solicitor at that particular firm. We have a video that briefly discusses some typical trainee tasks, so this would be a good starting point, and we will link the video in the description bar below. This will make you feel more confident when approaching the hypothetical situations. Then you would need to research what a trainee's position is within that particular law firm. Generally, trainees are the most junior at a law firm, so whilst an associate might have the authority to delegate responsibility, a trainee might not have this authority, so understanding your position will enable you to approach these questions more confidently. Once you understand your role and your position within the firm, you need to research the skills and values that the firm requires. These can be found on the firm's website, and once you've found these skills and values, you need to consider whether you possess those skills and values. If you do, then great, progress with the application at SJT. If not, then perhaps you might not be as successful. You should also try to answer as naturally as possible and avoid selecting answers that you think the firm are looking for. For example, you might see a question which asks you whether you'd take on extra work even if you had tons of work to complete by tomorrow. You might be tempted to say that you'd take on the additional work to show that you can handle high-pressure situations, but this may stop you from completing your existing tasks to an excellent standard, so this may not always be the best answer, and so you should try to answer as naturally as possible. Once you've done all of this, you need to start practicing SJTs to prepare you so you can become familiar with the types and styles of questions. We will link some free resources in the description bar below. Once all the practice has been completed and your test is due, you should ensure that you complete it in an appropriate environment. Whilst it is not timed like the Watson-Glaser or recorded like a video interview, you need to be somewhere where it is silent so you can focus properly. Okay, now that we have covered some general advice, we will go on to consider the different common styles of SJT questions, followed by a made-up example. So the SJT can take different forms. The common ones that we have come across are most effective and least effective, where you select two answers, most likely, where you select one answer, and also a ranking of the best response to the worst response, which requires you to select all possible answers in their ranking order. This is an important thing to be aware of, because imagine getting everything right, but you've accidentally only selected the most effective response and forgotten to select the least effective response. That would be very tragic, so make sure you are aware of the format. Okay, So now we're going to go through a most effective / least effective style question and give answers and reasoning. So I will give you a few seconds to read the question on the screen. Okay, now I will give you a few seconds to read the potential answers so you can try to establish which is the most effective response and which is the least effective response. So the most effective response is D. This is because as a trainee, you need someone with more authority and experience to approve a document before distributing it to trainees on a wide scale. While initiative is looked favourably upon, it is good to get someone more senior to double-check the document to avoid distributing something that may contain errors. This goes back to what I was saying about understanding your position within the firm. As a trainee, you're the most junior, so your work is always overlooked by someone more senior. So actually getting someone to check the document would show good decision-making skills. And the least effective response is A, because of all the reasons we have just spoken about. As a final piece of advice, pre-recorded SJT questions are normally centered around skills and values, but if you are required to answer SJT questions at the interview stage, these may contain some moral questions, such as, would you support a client's lie? The best way to approach these types of questions is to read the SRA, so that you know what behaviour and conduct is required of solicitors. That's all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Also, don't forget to enter our giveaway, where 6 of you will have the chance to win one of City Career Series' Commercial Law Handbook, and one lucky winner will receive City Career Series' Training Contract Handbook. For those of you who don't win the Training Contract Handbook in our giveaway, you should definitely consider buying it. The guide is useful for those starting their TCs and will also help those who want an in-depth knowledge on what trainees actually do. Thanks again for watching. See you next week, and connect with us on LinkedIn so you can access the SJT guidance document on Thursday.